everybody, hello. It's another hashtag ABC April 2025 collab project, and we're working through the alphabet. Last time we used the craft paper resist paper. Today is the 14th of April and it is L, and the girls have suggested for today labels, layers, ledger and lace. All really good prompts, those ones. So let's see what we can do with them today then. So I've looked out this old ledger that I've got. It even kindly says ledger on it. I mean, look at these. These would make a fabulous journal. Anyway, I digress. And throughout are these bits that are stuck to it. And look at the tape that's on them. I mean, that isn't even faux aged tape. It's just aged tape. I mean, you need a bit of glue, obviously, but how fantastic. So, trade price list for home trade only, as of from April 1968. So, I'm loath to say this is vintage because I was born before 1968. But, you know, it might be. So we've got lots of pages with writing on. Tax, working out his tax, working out how much things cost, etc. And I've got lots of remnants. I've made lots of things with this ledger already. But I've got that, which has got this on that side, which I think would do us nicely. And what's on the other side of this one? Oh, nothing. It's had something stuck to it, so it's all a bit distressed, but that's fine. We're all about the distress. So I'll leave those out. Tony Vince sent me some ledger paper a little while ago, and I really cherished it, and I've put it somewhere safe so it didn't get bent up or anything, and I'm darned if I can find it. However, not to worry. Right, so what I want to do is make just a little paper sort of folded over envelope type thing. And I don't really want the writing on it, so I'm going to cut it off about where the end of the writing is, which is about there, I'd say, which leaves me about 6 inches. In fact, I'm going to cut it exactly on 6 inches. There we go. So I've got this piece, and that can go back in the ledger at some stage. And then with this piece, I could make one, I suppose it's slightly longer. So it's going to be, I don't know, probably 7. So I'll say it's 7. I haven't got measurements here, but I think it's about 7, and that piece also can get saved. Right, so what we're going to do is make these into envelopes, little envelopes. So I want this piece to be on the inside, really, although it really doesn't matter. And I'm going to take my scoreboard, which I've already had out, so it's lying under loads of stuff, and I'm just going to score down one edge at 1/2 inch all the way down. And yeah, it must be a 7, and fold that over, burnish it down. And then what we're going to do is just fold this over to meet it, like that, just to fit under it, like so, all the way up. And then fold that, burnish that in. There we go. And then I want to score at about 1 inch, I'd say, which is right where that blue line is. So let's do that. So this paper hasn't been coffee stained or anything, it's just how it is. And then I'm going to score this at 1/2 inch along what's going to be the bottom. And those of you that have followed me for a while will know exactly what I'm making, because it's not my first rodeo with this one. Okay, so that's going to go under there like that. So I want to trim off. There's a score line there and there's a score line there, and I want to trim off that bit. There's a score line down here and a score line along there, and I want to trim off this bit. I'll worry about the bottom when I get there. Right, so I just want to slightly miter that up to where that starts, then just cut it off straight for now. There we are. And this one, same thing, cut it off straight on the score line. And then cut it slightly on the where you've got more paper, on that side of the score line. So there we are. So that folds over, well actually it's the other way around, that goes like that, but who's complaining at the moment? So we need to leave this piece for the bottom edge that flips up, and we can get rid of this piece here and this little piece here in the corner. So I'm just going to cut that straight where the score line is, and cut that just a slightly little bit way up into the larger side. And this I'm just going to miter a little bit down into the crease and cut that off straight there. There we go. Right, so hopefully now we've got a little envelope. Yeah, there we go. The bottom's going to fold up like that, top's going to fold down like that. Everything in the garden's rosy. Okay, so that's just not quite straight there. So I'll just do some remedial work. Right, so now what I'm going to do is fold it over so as the two edges that you've cut for the bottom match like that. And I'm just going to round them just by eye like that. I'm going to do the same to the top one. So match those up like that, and I'm just going to round those off as well. Just so it looks a bit more envelopey. There we go. So what I really want is that to go inside, although that's a very nice coloured edge, but that's a tone edge there, which I do like. So then we've got this that's going to fold up there. Let's burnish that down. And this that can fold down there. So there we have it. We've got a coin envelope, and it's as easy as that. You don't need a die, you don't need measurements, you don't need anything. Well, maybe to find out how tall it is, but apart from that, you don't really need any specific measurements. However wide your bit of paper is, you're going to fold it in half, barring the 1/2 inch that you've scored. So it's that easy peasy. And I'm just going to ink around that now, and I'll be back to you. forgot to say, I'm going to cut a thumb notch in here. So just stop myself before, where are we? I want to get this kind of halved up about there. I'm just going to make a mark where the halfway line is, which is about there. And try this with my punch. Sometimes if your paper's too thin, the punch doesn't want to work, but it should be all right here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that's given me a little thumb notch there, which you'll see much better when I ink around it. So I'll see in a sec. Okay, so there we go. I've inked around it. I think it's easier for you to see now, isn't it? Exactly what I was on about. So that's the shape of our coin envelope. So now I can just stick it together, and I want this to come over the top like that, so I can see that torn edge, and it just gives a bit of a neater finish, I think. So let's just glue that down for a start. So as you can see, there's no fuss about making these. They're so easy to make. So easy to make. And then I'm going to stick the bottom up as well. Give that a good press down. There we go. Right, there's our coin envelope. As easy as that. And it really is. You watch me do it, even for me. 11 minutes. And you know I like to talk. So there we go. Now we need to decorate it. So I thought we could use, when we started doing this, we were using book pages, and that seems to have dropped off by the wayside. But I've got a remnant. Look at that. That's probably perfect, actually. Yeah. So I'd quite like that to go there and go right round it. But I want to ink it first. And inking these little light bits of paper are really, can be quite tricky, so take your time. You can use anything you want. Use music paper, absolutely anything that you've got to hand that's handy for you, digitals, whatever you've got. I just wanted to bring back the book page theme a little bit. So I'm just going to put that on the side there, like that. So I'm not thinking too much about what's going where. If you are handy with a glue stick, this is the perfect place to use your glue stick. I'm not handy with a glue stick. I end up absolutely just covered in glue, and it's horrible and I hate it. My board gets it and can't be doing with the stuff, so I'm just going to use my ordinary glue, and hopefully that text is something like straight. I'm not exactly sure it is. That might be all right. And then just fold it over round that corner onto the other side. So we've started to decorate that side as well. Doesn't that look lovely just as it is? I just love it. There we go. So I'm just going to ink down that edge. Down there. Right. So for my next piece, I could use, like I say, music. I could use anything, whatever. But I have got, as you know, because I've used it before, this book, The Concise British Flora in Colour. And it's a super book. I've got 3, 4, I've got plenty copies of it. But there's some, I mean, look at these beautiful, beautiful images in it. But you could fussy cut them. But do you fancy fussy cutting that? No. No, I don't. I only have one life that I know of, and it's too short to be fussy cut. Oh, look at that. Maybe that I could fussy cut at a push, or that. But either way, I've already torn a page out, and I've got this left of it. So this was a remnant, and I just want a bit to go there. So I'm gonna. I don't care if this is straight or not because I'm going to tear it afterwards. So I'm going to cut that there. I wouldn't mind getting all of that in actually. And there. So, you know, as I say, it's not straight, but I'm not fussed, because I'm going to make it even more unstraight in a minute. So that will go on that side. Let's tear the edges. And you all know it's not my forte, but unfortunately that paper does tear really well. And by cutting it down to begin with, it's a manageable size for me. So when I'm tearing whole pages, I don't know, it just goes wrong. So I hope you all had a nice weekend. We did. We went out for a little while on the Saturday, and then on Sunday, Mr. F washed the car and all that sort of thing. How far down does that go? To there. So yeah, I think I'll put that there. Let's ink it first though. They're beautiful, aren't they? I think they're called a pasque flower, and the reason I say that is because I've seen them in Edith. So that's what she said they were called, so if that's what Edith says, it's good enough for me. There we are, that looks nice when it's inked. So I'm just going to glue that. So I wonder what we've got for tomorrow's prompts. M it'll be. I'm going to have a look now because I'm curious. I'm curious. If you want a copy of the prompts list, there's a copy on my Facebook group. Just go and grab it. Yeah, I'll put that about there. I think that looks quite nice. And then fold this over onto the other side. Whichever's the front and the back, I'm not really sure. But it doesn't matter because ours looks pretty whichever way up. Oh, that's lovely. That's really, really nice. So now I want something that, bearing in mind this is botanical, our whole journal is botanical. So I want to stamp something, but I want to stamp it onto book page. So I've got this one. I'm not sure if that's... That'll be all right, I think. So let's just tear a page out of here. Great. And actually, I'd rather it wasn't in the same book page as that. That's what I'm hicking at the moment. So let's... Hang on. Music paper. We buy these at the charity shop, and to be honest, with a lot of them, all I do is keep the cover. I've got loads of these covers because they're just beautiful, aren't they? I mean, that really is beautiful. That would go nicely there, wouldn't it? Stop getting carried away with yourself. So there's all this music. These are exercises. That's also an exercise, but it's more interesting. So let's take, that's even more interesting. Let's take this out. And what I want to do is I want to stamp on it. So I've got this little stamp set that's little flowers. I'll use this one, it's a nice one. I want to stamp it in brown. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves It is a dark brown. It'd be hard to tell actually whether it's brown or black, but it is brown. Let's stamp that there. Very good. Meaningful press down. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. It is pretty, but the music behind it's almost too dark, isn't it? I'm gonna have to find some lighter music. This paper in this book is absolutely gorgeous. Let's use that. And I don't really want this pencil mark there telling which note is which note. No, that's not going to erase. It's been on there for many a moon. So let's try it again. So this should look better. That's the theory. Give it a try and see. You don't know till you try, do you? That is much better, isn't it? You can really see that now. That is lovely, in fact. So let's put this back on its backing before it gets lost and becomes a desk dweller for life. Right, so I'm going to roughly cut this out and then I can tear it out. And I am going to keep this paper and I'm going to keep it quite handy because I can feel a use for it coming on. There we go. So let's just tear that out. That paper's quite soft. It's gorgeous. Honestly, it's always worth, when you're in a charity shop, having a look at the music section. They have fabulous things. I've got no shortage of books like that. And you look at it and you think, oh, I don't know. But you can always think of a use for music paper. I've got loads of it. I mean loads and loads, too much. Right, so there we are. We've made ourselves a little... Oh, that's just so nice. And look at that. It fits between the two nicely. So I'm layering here, guys. Another L. Okay, let's ink around that. So you know what's coming next, don't you? Which L is coming next? Oh, I didn't look to see what M was. Might be music paper, in which case we're a day early. She wouldn't think of something else to do with music paper. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. I think I'll just bring that up a little bit because I want to still see some of that ledger. Otherwise, it's a bit pointless making it out of ledger. Okay. So let's just stick that on there. Lovely. So that's really nice. I hope you like it. I love it. It's really nice. So do we want to do something similar on the front? I'm guessing it's the front. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, why not? Why ever not? So I'll use a different flower for this one. Don't think these are going to reach all across, but I'm not fussed about that. I'll use this one. I don't even know what it is, but I'll use it anyway. Don't think that stamp has ever been stamped. Shall I try it on that side? Let's do it. So you could stamp these in green if you want to. You stamp them in red, stamp them in whatever you fancy. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? It's really delicate. It's lovely. Nice set of stamps them. I think they were Temu special. So let's cut this out and then we can tear it out and get it stuck on. I really like that. I love the way it looks. So, yeah, I'm going to get that out and remind myself. I want to see what M is. I want to see what I have to be thinking about tonight. There we go. M tomorrow is Masterboard, Mixed Media, ooh, Memory Keeping and Mitre. Well, yeah, I don't think any of those are going to cause my brain to overload. Not tonight anyway, possibly tomorrow. So let's just ink around here, then we'll get that stuck on and we can move on to the next L. Where's my thingy? Here it is. Oh, that does fit between those two, look. Look at me layering. Where do I like it best? Probably about there. Like I say, if you're good with glue stick, this is the project for you. I won't use glue stick now unless I have absolutely no choice. And really, there's always a choice, isn't there? So let's get that straight. You straight, I think so. There we go. So you could stop there if you wanted. Oh, I have an ink down there. Oh, there. Yeah, you could call that done. It's really attractive. I really like it. But bringing this in again, today we've got labels, layers, done it, ledger, done it, lace, no, there's no lace on it, but labels. So let's have a little think about labels for a minute. And I did look some out that I already had. Not you, you're a mushroom. And I really like them. I don't know if you can see, but they're all sort of look like they've been made on stained coffee paper, something like that. So I got these out and I thought, yeah, they are perfect, great. And, you know, they look fabulous. And then I could hear everybody going, but where did you get them from? I haven't got a clue. I've had them for ages. And we haven't got them. What can we do? So this is what I think you can do. This old music paper here that we've got, it's already aged. It's a beautiful colour. So we could use that to stamp onto. So let me get my field notes stamps down. And ones like this specimen, that's already a label. It's got a border around it. It's a perfect label. And it would go there. So let's do that. My stamps are filthy and never want to stick, so there we go. And I'm going to do it in brown, not that brown, this brown. Just see what happens. Look at that. That is a perfect label. I love it. Let's cut that out. Ink around it. See what it looks like on our little envelope. I mean, the paper's already beautifully aged. Sorry, I can't really cut and speak. It takes all my concentration to cut. Even then, it's probably not straight. There we go. So we've got that. I might want to put it up there a bit actually, because I don't really want it too close to that because it's exactly the same colour. But that looks nice there. I'm going to ink around that and I'm going to stick it because I really like it. So I'm inking and I'm coming in quite a bit from the edge. There we go. So that can go there. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Yes. So yeah, tomorrow, masterboards, mixed media. Woo. Let's bring that back so you can see that ledger paper. There we go. Oh, that's nice. I like that. It's lovely. So for this side, I don't know about it because that comes up just a bit. I can't really get another one like specimen or anything in there. So let's have a look what I got out. I got out these stamps, which are an Elizabeth Craft Design CS326, retro labels 2, and they've got label shapes in them. So I'll take out one of the smaller ones. This one's a nice square one. Let's use the same colour ink. Can I fit that up there? Just about, I'd say. Lovely. I'll leave that on there because I probably will want it again. Oh, maybe not. And then I want to stamp something on it. I'm not sure what, so let me just have a look through my field note stamps. See what will fit in there. That number. Yeah, that will be grand. Let's take that off then. Use the same ink. Perfect. Nice little label. A nice little label. So let's cut that one out then. So you can see how well aged paper works. Works really rather nicely. There we go. So I can get that up there, look, if I wanted to. That looks all right up there. I think I'm happy with that. This is why you keep everything. I know you're probably sick to death of me saying that, but it really is worth it, because when you come to something like this, you're very glad that you did keep everything. So I'm going to stick that on, then I'm going to have a look at some of that sellotape that's in my ledger and see what we've got and if I need any or not. Well, I don't need it, see if I can use any of it. So I'm just going to bring that to there, just underneath there. That's lovely. Stick it down. Okay, looking nice. What did I say I was going to do? Look at the ledger. For what? What was I going to look for? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to show you something else. If you haven't got an old book like that, or you just want some difference, some point of difference, let's put them back up there for a minute. Then all the inky backgrounds that I do, and I keep them in my desk dutifully, and you will all wonder what you're keeping all them for, what you're going to do with them. Well, I mean, that one I think would make perfect labels. I've got blue, if I wanted blue. I've got that one in duck egg blue, that's very pretty, isn't it? I've got these green ones, let's lay that out. That one, which looks like antique linen, also very nice, let's lay that out. And that one's a bit multicoloured. This one's tea dye, let's lay that out. And I'll put the rest back away. And we'll have a look and see what we can get done with these ones. So, I'll start with the first one I laid out. And let's go for the big label. No, I don't know what I'm going to put in if I do. Let's go for the little one then. This one. And I do have more label stamps than this, but I'm afraid I don't know where they are. So now we're just looking at making labels really. So that's it in brown. Oh, keep it on. I'll do it in green as well. This is Versifying Shady Lane. That's nice, isn't it? Nice for a botanical journal. And then I'll use the black, the Nocturne. Excuse me. Oh, that wasn't a very good stamp. But these papers are for free, you know what I mean? We did them with what was left of inks on the messy mat. And then I'm going to do one in red, just for the pure heck of it. It's got a sign stuck to the bottom. There we go. So let's cut those out and have a look at them and see what we think. So I'll cut those out and I'll get back to you when I've done. Actually, let's stamp on them first before we do. They're easier to stamp on when they're solid like that. So I've got that number. Is that too small? It is a bit. Let's get these ones out. See what I've got. I've also got those, you know, Also, oh, and there's a label shape there. That's nice. Got the collect one. Yeah. Oh, so there's lots, isn't there? We're not short. Does that fit in there? I don't know, it might. That one will though. And there's another little label stamp that would fit in there. That one would fit in there. What's that say? Reserved. Yeah. Not too sure about that one. It's 303. Yeah, that's fine. That's great. I'll leave those out. Okay, let's stamp these ones then. Let's take that off. I'm going to stamp in black. It's really nice. Really nice. Oh, it's a daisy. Okay, now I'm going to cut them out. Well, I'm going to stamp those out as well, and then I'll cut them all out and I'll be back to you. Okay. So I've chopped those out, as you can see, and there they are. And don't they look lovely? Just from that inky pickup sheet that we had. They look fabulous, and it was just sitting in the drawer waiting for something like this. So we've got some labels there. This one's quite a light colour. Let's try this one. Let's try that. Let's try a couple on here. See where we get to. I'm going to stamp out the collect and the specimen because I really rather like those. Ready-made labels, aren't they? Start down here. Oh, just perfect. Just perfect. Oh, I've stamped myself. I'm a specimen. Oh dear. Need to get that off before I go knitting. And specimen. Lovely. Really, really lovely. And what else did we have? We had this one. Let's try a different one. Let's try this one this time. Just a rectangle, so I'm going to do it in black first off. Very neat and crisp. Then the brown. Very little difference there, I must say, between the brown and the black. I could do it in that portobello. What is that? Have I still got that out? Yes, I do. Let's try that one then. That's better, isn't it? It's lighter. Might be hard for you to discern that, but it is. Take it from me. It's lighter. And then let's go for the green. The shady green. Shady lane. And we're sort of getting into an orangey background now, but that's alright, it looks nice there. So that's the green, and I'm just going to do a red, and that will do, I think. That's very orangey now. But that looks fine. Okay, so let's stamp them with something. I'm not exactly sure what we need to stamp them with. Let's get this box of tricks out again, see if there's anything in there. And shipment fit in there. Collect probably does. Shipment, just collect though, I could probably use that. What else? What else have I got? Got all sorts of everything in here. Does that fit? Office stamp? No, just not quite. That's a teeny one. That fits figure 1 and figure 2. Might be a bit little. But it should be alright, I think. I think we've already used that one once, but it's nice. What else do I have here? It's a holy show is what my stamps are, to be honest. What about that one? Yes, that's a good one. I might use that one twice. Excellent, let's do that then. So I'm stamping all of them in the black, and I really need a new black ink because this one's kind of at the end of its days. It's been really good. I've had it for a long time. Guess it's a measure of how little I stamp actually. That's not quite straight, but it's okay. It'll be alright on the night. Figure 1, figure 2. That looks nice actually. I like them. This one looks absolutely filthy. I keep saying these to Mr. F and he keeps cleaning them, and then I keep messying them up again. And this one. I'm going to stamp it again in the top one. There we go. Lovely. So I'm going to cut those out and I'll see you when I've done that. Right, so there we are. I've chopped those out, and don't forget that they have come out of this piece of mop-up cloth. It's not cloth, it's paper, mop-up paper. So you can see what you get and why it's worth always doing your mop-up rather than just waste all that ink. So we've got those ones from that. We've got these ones from the grungier little remnant piece that we had. So I don't think I need to show you any more about making labels. I'm sure you know now how to make labels. I'm sure you knew before. But do we need to stick another one on these? Why not? I mean, we've got them, haven't we? So how about that one about there? I think that would be quite nice. Let's do it. Let's ink it and do it. It always helps if you've got ink on your dabber. I do like making labels out of those mop-up papers. I don't know, I just feel, yes, that's why I did it. But I mean, there's loads of other things you can make with mop-up papers. Actually, isn't tomorrow M? Couldn't M be for mop-up papers? Yeah, if we want it to be, it could be. So there we are, that's that. That looks nice. And let's put one on the other side as well. Why ever not? What would reserved look like? Quite nice, really. I could put it down there. It's quite busy in this bottom half though, isn't it? I think I'll put it up there. I know what I was going to get the ledger out for. The sellotape. I remembered something's going on in that old grey noggin. Who knows what, eh? So let's pop that there. Oh, maybe a little bit over. No, I don't like it there. Put it there. Put it where you first put it. Looks fine. There we are. Right. So I'm happy with that. That will be a nice little thing in our journal. And you can fill it up with just blank journaling paper in there, and you've got a really good journaling thing. That would be a great thing to slide under a paper clip, you know, on the edge of the page. Just slide it in there, and then you've got something pretty to look at and loads of journaling paper inside. So that's that one. Now I just wanted to before I forget, let's look at this blooming tape that I keep threatening and never get to. Let's just have a look. So I know we've got some here. So I've got that piece. What about if I put that down there? No, I think it needs to be over here. I think I'm going to do it there, guys. I really do. I quite like that. So let's just chop that bottom bit off. That's going to become a desk dweller forevermore. I can feel it. So it's not very dark, this, but it's very authentic because it's actually the real thing. There we are. So let's just put that there as if it's holding that bit of music paper on. Oh, it didn't stick. There we go. Lovely. That's helped it, hasn't it? It's certainly helped it look authentic. Let's find a bit for this side. How about this bit here? What's wrong with that? Down there, probably. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? Finding things we can use. I will show you how to make the faux tape. Somebody asked me in the comments, and I will show you at some stage this week. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. It's a pretty little thing. A pretty little thing. So, not forgetting I've got that in there then. So I'm just going to quickly go over with you making one of those envelopes. My wet wipe has dried out already, but never mind, not to worry. Okay, so this is whatever height it is. It just happened to be the bit of paper, didn't it? 6 inches. So this is going to be somewhat more squat than the last one. There's my board. Here's my board. Who knows where my... Here it is. Yeah, my desk needs tidying up desperately. Let's do it this way. I don't think there's a right and a wrong way at all. So 1/2 inch in on one side like that. Then you fold that in and burnish it. Then you fold this one over. I'm not sure that's actually square. It's quite old paper, this. So you've got to be patient with it. That's better. Fold this over so it just fits under there, and then make sure it's straight and fold where the halfway mark is. And that's going to go over there like that. So now what we want to do is score, I should say, 1 inch on one side. Because this is very squat, I'm actually going to do it at 3/4 of an inch. Because otherwise it'll be almost too squat. And then 1/2 inch along this edge. Okay, so looking at that, well, you can't really see that much, but in fact I'll ink it so you can see really well what's going on. Okay, so I've inked that, so you can, where the brown lines are the ones pertinent to us. So you can see that's the little fold, the 1/2 inch fold on the edge. That's where it folds in half, like that. So what we want to do is keep this bit intact and get rid of that section there, this section here, this little corner piece here, and this little corner piece here. Okay, so let's do that. So on the crease line, or just over it, and then just slightly into the body of the piece. Cut along there. And then this one, same thing, slightly towards the body of the envelope. So slightly over that brown line, then down that crease line. Down that crease line. And then I'm going to miter that a little bit, not much. Just miter it, that means put an angle on it. And here I'm just putting a little angle on that, and I'm cutting to that crease line. So there we are, this is what we've got now. Okay, so when we fold it up, that's going to go to there, that's going to go inside actually, so that's going to be there like that. This is going to fold up, and that's going to be our envelope flap that you can have folded up or down. Now this is just catching on there, so I just want to take another little smidge off the bottom, and it might happen to you, it might not, I don't know, but if it does, just take another little bit off there so it doesn't catch, like that. And then when you fold that up, yeah, I've got nothing rubbing into it at all. And let's have a look at the top, that's fine, but I do want to make a thumb notch in there so people get the idea that it is a pocket. So I'm just finding the centre, which is there, And I'm going to make a thumb notch. That doesn't want to cut that. Cut the other one easily, but it doesn't want to cut that one. So I'm just going to hold another piece of paper behind it. And that's the way to get round it if your punchers don't want to punch your paper because it's too thin. Just put a piece of paper behind it. That just cut, honestly. That is a struggle, but there we are. It's cut. It's a bit raggedy, but that's not the end of the world. So there we have it. Now, the only two other things to do is to fold this piece, it's all intact, in half. Don't crease it at all, just hold it intact. Line up those two top corners and we're going to round them off. So just take your scissors and round them like that. So we've got an envelope, more of an envelope looking top. And same with the bottom, line them up. Like so, and just round that bottom. There we go. So that's going to fold in, that's going to fold over, that's going to fold up, and that's going to fold down. So I'll just ink everything and then we'll come back and stick it. Right, so that's it inked around. So now we're just going to glue it. So I'm going to glue this piece under first. Fold that over, hold that down and flop that into place. There we are. Then the bottom can get glued. Like so. Fold that up. And there we have our little coin envelope. And you can decorate it as you wish. We've got loads of labels that we could use. I'm not going to stick these on, I'm merely suggesting to you that we do have lots of labels that we could just use. Maybe a picture of a flower or something like that. What have I got to hand? What do I have to hand? That book. This one with the vintage botany. Oh, I quite like that yellow one. Let's have a go at that. And I am going to tear the edges on this just a little bit, just kind of in keeping with the rest of the journal, isn't it? Because it's quite grungy. It's quite a grungy journal. So I'm just quickly going to go over that. Go around it. I'm not going over it with anything yet. I will go over it with a bit of ink. So just use what you've got. You can always use a stamped image for this. That would be lovely. You know, stamp it onto a piece of different paper. Actually, that would be really nice. I might do that on the other side. There we are. So that can get inked and go down there. And this is simple, isn't it? I mean, it's simple pimple. Easy MacPeasy, I would say. But it's going to look nice in our journal. So that can go there. Let's glue that into place. So we've used the ledger to make this, which was really a remnant of a piece of ledger paper. go. I'll stick that on there. I think that looks relatively okay, does it? Oh, that glue, honestly, once it sticks, it's stuck. There we are. Okay, that's nice. And specimen, perchance. And then where's the figure 1 and figure 2? This one. So do I want them both down there or one up there? Yeah, that one up there probably. Let's ink round these. Yeah, I like the figure 1 and the figure 2 and the specimen going together. They kind of right. Lovely. So today it's an easy one. Doesn't get much easier really, does it? But it's just an idea for you. And this one. Let's just bring that down a little bit, down to there. There we go. That's pretty much all that needs really. I wouldn't say that needed any more than that. And we can do something quite similar on the back. Where's our little flower stamps? Here they are. So I can stamp something onto that bit of music paper. I don't know which one to use. Shall I use that big one? Let's use the big one. And I'm going to stamp it in Portobello, if I know where that is. Here it is. Let's do it somewhat properly. I don't know what that green bit is there. No idea, but isn't that pretty? Look at the shading on that, it's gorgeous. That's so gorgeous. Let's just wipe this off and then put it back. Lovely. And then I can cut that out. And there's quite a lot on there that lives to fight another day. And I'm just going to quickly just tear down here. Tear around it. That music paper's gorgeous. Honestly, when you use things like that that you haven't used for a while, you wonder why. What's wrong with you, woman? Why haven't you used this more often? There we go. So we've got our nice image there. I'm just going to stamp around, ink around it. Quite gently, it's quite soft paper. There we go. So let's just do a little composition here, see what we've got. Quite like that one that says date in green. I've also got this one in green. I'll have to budge that over a bit, I think. I quite like that. I don't really see there's much wrong with it. If it's not to your taste, then you could always dibby-dabby the ledger paper. But I think that's for another day. There we go. Let's pop that about there. Looks pretty good to me. Lovely quick ink around these. And really, you can take loads more time. You can distress these, you know, to the nth degree if you want to. You can do all the edges, you can rip them, you can put sellotape on them. Loads of honestly, so much. It's too many things. We should have a week for each of the prompt letters. There we go. So, what did I say tomorrow was? M. Yeah. I'm just going to pop that one there. Maybe down a little bit. Down to there. And I'm going to get some of the old washi sellotape out. It certainly hasn't got much stick left nowadays. Look at the marks it's left on the paper. I've got that bit here in my hand, but it's left that mark. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So, do I want that bit about there? I think I possibly do. There we go, that's nice. That is nice. Can you see that? So let's see where we can add one to this. Up there. Yep, let's do it. Perfect. Perfectly perfect. So there we have it. That is that's that one. That's the one we did earlier. And here's the one that I did first off. Just used coffee stained paper. Just see what it looked like really. And then we made some labels. So all in all, we've had good fun. Oh, I think we have, I have. So that's great. That's L done and dusted. Tomorrow is M. So thank you very, very much for joining me. I do really, really appreciate it. And let's just shunt these so you can see all three. There we go. And tomorrow, if you'd like to join me and we have more fun with M, that would be marvellous. So see you then. Bye for now, guys. Bye.